So I've been getting the same questions again and again. How much height did I gain and what my final height was? So in the next two slides, I want to answer those questions. I gained a total of just under 5 centimeters. I was hoping to gain much more than that. When I was approaching the 5 centimeter mark, as you might have seen in my previous videos, I suffered from a pylon fracture. So to minimize any future complications, I stopped the lengthening. I was hoping to go to at least 6, but I stopped just under 5. If you look at the scale on the right hand of the monitor, you'll see the scale goes to 5 centimeters. I opened that picture in Paint, and I drew a line where that scale is, and I transferred it to the right and the left osteotomy sites. And as you can see, it's just under 5 centimeters on both sides, which is a modest gain. I would have liked to go to 6 centimeters, but again, I had the pylon fracture, and out of my health, your health is more important than your vanity. I decided to stop the lengthening, and that's pretty much it. I gained just under 5 centimeters. And in this slide is my final height. This was taken at my doctor's office. The medical assistant measured it. And I measured myself a few times at 6'1.5" or 184 centimeters. I know that in the picture it goes a little over 184, but I think it's more like 184. So you might ask yourself, well, why did I only gain 4 centimeters when the osteotomy gap shows that I gained nearly 5 centimeters? And I really don't know the answer to that question. I think some of that height might be absorbed, maybe the time of day. But I measured like on 3 different occasions, 6'1.5", and then at the doctor's office, 184. So you might ask, was it worth it? I did have a complication, a pylon fracture. I still do have a little bit of Aquinas contracture. However, it's a lot less than it was before. But the price I paid, I did get a good price on the surgery. And at the time that I did it, the value of the dollar was actually worth more than the euro, which is a rare time in history that happened. So I really didn't pay much at all for the surgery relative to what it is some other places. Out of respect for Dr. Yuxel's team, I'm not going to say what I paid out of respect for for their team, because I realize they're always raising prices, and I'm just not going to say if you want to send me a PM or a private message me, I can tell you. But my final height is 184. I did hope to achieve much more than that. My original goal was to do tibias and femurs. I was trying to go for at least 6 centimeters on my tibias. I still have at least 10 degrees of Aquinas contracture in my left ankle. It used to be a lot worse. I would have kept on lengthening if I didn't have the pylon fracture, and maybe my Aquinas contracture would have been worse. But I was non-weight bearing for a period of time also because of the pylon fracture, so that's why I have kind of the Aquinas contracture. If I didn't have that complication, I probably not have had that Aquinas contracture. I was planning on doing 6 centimeters on tibia and like 8 on a femur, for a total of 14. That would have put me, around 6'2" or 6'2.5" or something like that. I'm not going to say I'm not going to do femurs in the future, but until I'm like totally 100% again, I'm not going to do any more procedures. And I am skeptical about nail removal, actually, because believe it or not, nail removal is actually a dangerous procedure. Believe it or not, it can result in refracturing the bone, even if it looks consolidated. And I know someone that recently had suffered from a fracture a year after he waited 18 months to consolidate, remove the nail, and then a year after he removed the nail, he had a fracture of his tibia. So I really don't know if I'm going to remove the nail or when I will do it. But I am happy, even though I made a modest gain. I am happy with 184 or 6'1.5". I do believe the optimum height for a male is between 6'2" and 6'4", but no one's been made fun of for being 6'1.5". So I do feel I kind of checked a box, so to say, from the surgery. I did gain, even though a modest gain, I did gain.